It's been a minute since we've done a video like this, and today we're going to be doing a video that I've been requested to do a bunch from friends kind of outside of the internet, and that is what are some electric guitars for under $500 that don't suck? So if you don't know much about us, my name's Alex. I run a guitar shop called A Flash Flood of Gear, and we sell a lot of kind of higher end-ish stuff. Our guitars start at the $1,000 range, but most of our instruments you're gonna find in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 price point. So not entry level, not the craziest vintage stuff, but you know, fairly pricey for a lot of what we have. We focus on pro level instruments that are ready to be recorded with and taken out on the road, and just that stuff costs a lot of money. Fortunately, there are some hidden gems out there, and there's a lot of great guitars for under $500 that are really, really good. And today, we're gonna talk about some of those. So today is gonna be 5 guitars for under $500 that don't suck. I will say, I tried to go off of new prices and mostly stuff that's available now, but we are a shop that specializes in used and vintage, and I'm going off of stuff that I have had before. So some of these are a little harder to find new, if even made at all, but most of these you can still find new today. Let's get into it. Number 5 is a guitar that is super readily available, and one that there's a bunch of different model variants, and I think they're all pretty cool. And that is the Gretsch Electromatic Jet. I specifically put on the list the G5425. I think new right now, these are about $400. They come in black. There's a cool silver sparkle finish I like. But all of these Jet clubs in that kind of $400 or $500 range are really, really good. Pickups are really unique. They kind of are Filtertron style and don't sound like a lot of other stuff you're gonna find in this price range. They can get a little fuzzier than other pickups, so definitely depends on your application. Your mileage may vary, but I'm always really impressed with these. They play really, really good. They intonate well and they sound great. So for $400, you really can't go wrong. They stay in tune, and you can't say that for a lot of guitars in this price range. So just from the overall solidness of these guitars, I'm putting this number 5 on the list. So number 4 is actually a guitar that I don't own right now, and I kind of wish I did. And that is the Danelectro 59M NOS. That just means it's the 59 style reissue. M means it's modded, which we'll get into in a minute. And it's NOS, new old stock, meaning it looks just like the one would from 59 when it was brand new, rather than being like a relic. There's no aging or anything like that. These are really, really fun guitars, and Danelectro actually has a lot of offerings in this price point that I think are all really good. They're all kind of quirky, and most of them don't intonate well, as the bridges just simply don't allow for that. But with the 59M, the modded version, this actually has like a tune-o-matic type bridge, so you can dial in the intonation properly. These sound really cool. They definitely do a thing. They're not gonna work for everything, but what they do work for, they are really cool for. They're a lot of fun to play. They're quirky. You can play them hard, and you get a lot back out of it. And I just always have fun with these guitars. So this is a guitar that I can sincerely recommend for, I think, the $500 they sell for new. And used, you can get them even cheaper. Lots of cool colors out there too. I personally really like the copper one, but all kinds of fun stuff if you dig deep enough. Number 3 is one that you can't get new right now, or they have a version you can get new, but the version I recommend you can no longer get, and that is a Squier Classic Vibe 60 Stratocaster. These are really, really cool, and if you get the older ones, starting from like 2008, they have a rosewood fretboard, and to be honest, they are better than a lot of the entry-level stuff from Fender Mexico. Really great neck profiles. The ones with rosewood have always had really nice boards from what I've seen. Color always looks great, and I love the 60s style specs on such an affordable guitar. I know at one point they were doing a burgundy mist one with the matching headstock, and that thing was immaculate. I know those are getting really hard to find, and I'm not sure if they're still in the $500 range, but I know just the regular Sunburst ones you can very easily get for under $500 used, and I would definitely check those out if you haven't. Really, really solid Strats for very affordable money, so those are definitely worth a look. So number 2, they do still make new, but it's really hard to find in the States. I actually do have one. That is the Tokai Breezy Sound. So I know most of you guys probably know Tokai, but if you don't, they are a really high-spec manufacturer of Japanese instruments. They make a lot of really nice Gibson and Fender style guitars made in Japan with just second to none craftsmanship, sometimes even improving on the original designs, dare I say. As well as their prestigious Japan line, they also have a really affordable line that they make over in China that is still really, really good. And this is one from that line. I think new, these are like $500. I know we currently have this one for $450 and it's used, but it's in really nice shape. Yeah, if you can find one of these are really cool. Obviously, it's just a typical Tele style guitar, but I think I like this better than any other traditional Telecaster that you can get from Squier or anyone else in this price point. I really like these. I honestly like these China ones better than the Fender Mexico Player series, which I'm sure is controversial, but these are cool. I like them. And if you can find one, check it out. This is like my Tele specs. This looks just like the Tele that I used to play. Same color, same guard, and rosewood fretboard. You love it. All right, so I have two honorable mentions, both from the same line of guitars. My first honorable mention is the Squier Paranormal Series Supersonic. These guitars are very quirky, but they're really fun. They have nice thick gloss necks, which I know some people hate, but honestly, on these kind of guitars, I love them. The pickups sound great on these, and they're just a little different than everything else, and I love them. Supersonics are pretty hard to come by, but now with the Paranormal series, they're readily available, so while they still make it, you should definitely go pick one up and see if you enjoy it, as usually every time Fender or Squier puts out a reissue of the Supersonic, it is very short-lived, so as of filming this video, they make it, and it's pretty cool. As well as offering the Supersonic, they're also offering an offset Telecaster from this line right now. You can get that in a lot of cool colors, and I also really like that. Feels very similar to the Supersonic as far as build quality and everything, as they're from the same line, but again, very cool guitar. They're not perfect. The tuning stability is kind of okay on them, and there's room to improve on plenty of aspects of this guitar, but all things considered with the price point, they're really fun, and I would have no problem picking those up and playing them anytime if I can get my hands on them. My number one pick is actually not a traditional guitar. It is a baritone, and that is the Squier Paranormal Series Baritone Cabernita Telecaster. Things are so cool. You're probably noticing by now that I really like the Squier Paranormal series. These guitars are really cool. Lots of cool specs that you're not gonna get on typical Fenders, and specs that they don't make all the time. So I'm a big proponent of getting into whatever guitar from this line you like, because they might not be producing that model pretty soon here. I love how the pickups sound on these, and they make it in surf green, so what's not to love there? These actually do stay in tune pretty well, which is nice. To be honest, it's so hard to get a baritone from Fender or Squier. I'm really excited to see them make not only this, but also the traditional classic vibe baritone Telecaster, so it's cool they have two out at the same time. If this is something that you're interested in, I would definitely go play one and see if you like it, and if you do, I would not hesitate to jump on one. As we've seen in the past, whenever Fender or Squier makes baritones, they're around for a little while, and then they stop making them new, and then the prices go crazy. I don't know if they're gonna get as crazy with these, but I'm sure they're gonna hold their value very well, and I'm sure they're going to appreciate given the time to do so. So that is my list for the top 5 guitars that you can get right now for under $500 that don't suck. I do wanna note one thing that was really interesting making this video was when I first thought of the idea and thought this is something that I need to make. I thought a lot of guitars were under 500 that are no longer under 500. There are some things like the Phantomatic Epiphone Wilshire that are really cool. That I know the last time the shop had one, it sold for around $500, or like Mexico Teles and Strats. The standard one, Silver Label, used to be around $500, but a lot of these are getting more and more expensive as time goes on, and you can't get them for under $500 easily, at least anymore. So I think I want to do another video that's maybe top guitars under 800 or under 1,000, because there's a lot of cool ones that I think you could go just a little above that $500 price point that are even cooler that you could try. So let me know down below in the comments if that's something that you want to see. Let me know down below if you have any recommendations for guitars that are on the lower end price-wise that punch above their price class and you really enjoy. I know everyone will love seeing those other options, because we are all obviously looking for affordable gear that's really great. So if you can add to the conversation, please do. While we usually don't get a ton of guitars under $500, we actually do have quite a few right now that I think are pretty cool. So I made a curated collection of that, so go check out the link for that in the pinned comment below. I think there's some cool stuff you guys are gonna enjoy. As always, we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos, and we'll see you in another video soon. Bye.